Welcome to this webcast on the design of feed-in tariff. First, how to implement a feed-in tariff. Should it be a detailed feed-in tariff law, a mandate with details left to regulators, or a general energy law? There is a trade-off between investor security and flexibility. A detailed feed-in tariff law gives a lot of certainty for investor, but it's not flexible because once fixed in a law, it's very difficult to change a law. General energy law, on the contrary, has a lot more flexibility, but of course investors are more insecure about what will be adopted. Eligibility. Eligibility of technology, should it include all clean technology or just renewable? And for instance, should it include non-renewable cogeneration? Age, should the feed-in tariff include only new projects or repower generators, or also all generators? But then where are the incentives to invest? Most of the time feed-in tariff tend to focus on new projects. Ownership, should it be only community owned? Should the feed-in tariff be open to individuals? Or should only utility scale projects be targeted by the feed-in tariff because they have a lower cost of generation? So that's a political choice. Size. What should be the maximal size of a project? What should be the minimal size? There are technical considerations. And of course, once again, a political choice. Small projects, the costs are higher, but you include a more diverse set of actors. And with big projects, the costs are lower, but the number of actors involved in the electricity market is lower. The differentiation of feed-in tariff should be done by renewable energy technologies, because undifferentiated tariff means only the cheapest technology is promoted. Differentiation of feed-in tariff can be done according to the project size, which is often the case. Small size tend to favor local community projects with higher job creation, so that's a choice to be made. Resource quality can be also a criteria of differentiation of the tariff. For instance, in France, strong wind regime regions versus weak wind regime regions have different tariffs. The weak wind regime region have a higher tariff, so to avoid a concentration of projects in the region with the highest wind regime. You can have also a differentiation according to the technology application. For instance, for aesthetic region, you can favor and give higher tariff for building integrated PV, for instance. Differentiation can be done according to ownership, publicly versus privately owned, according to the geography, that will be of course linked to the characteristics of the countries, and local content, you can give a higher rate for technologies manufactured locally. It can be a combination of any of the previous criteria, but if you have too many different tariffs, it can get very complex to manage. So it is important to focus on the most important criteria first, according to the particularities and priorities of the country. How to set the tariff? The first approach is a value-based approach. This one needs to be avoided. Value-based approach, tariff indexed to the value of the energy delivered to the system. It can be, for instance, taking into account the avoided cost of an investment in conventional energy, but then often the tariff is not high enough. And so you should include externalities, which needs to be calculated. And even in some cases, renewable energy costs can be lower than conventional energy costs, so then you will generate excessive profit for renewable energy developers. It can be also indexed to electricity or fossil fuel prices, but then it gets very unstable. So it's preferable to choose a cost-based approach, cost of generation of renewable plus a targeted return. That reduces the risk for investors and policymakers. What should be the duration of the tariff? Short term, 3-7 years, medium term, 8-14 years, or long term, 15-25 years. Most of the time it's above 15 years. The shorter the duration, the higher the tariff needs to be for developers to recoup their cost. Longer duration helps to stabilize price at a low level and can generate immediate savings for end users. With tariff guaranteed for over 15 years, there is an incentive for projects to continue over a long period. What should be the payment structure? It can be a fixed tariff, it's the easiest option. A premium on top of the wholesale price of electricity of avoided cost, or spot market gap, where developer receives the difference between fixed price and the price of electricity they sold on the wholesale market, are more complex to manage. What should be the purchasing entity? Well, it can be a utility, it can be a third party, it can be a government entity. Feed-in tariff need to be adjusted. Triggers are thresholds that initiate an adjustment when crossed. They can include the passage of a specified period of time, 1, 2, 3 years, or the achievement of a certain capacity, or generation levels, or total policy calls. Automatic adjustment, when predefined degradation of tariff are included in the feed-in tariff, or review of the feed-in tariff can be triggered by this threshold. It is very important to adjust on a regular basis the feed-in tariff to follow the decrease of the cost of renewable energy technologies.